In today's news, Debbie Hamerick, mother of Kera.mp3, tells her horrific experience surrounding her daughter's death in response to a letter submitted from Hocking County Coroner Dave Cummin. Although CMFM reached out to Cummin for a statement, we did not get a response. Here's Debbie's story.
The coroner here in Hocking County, when my daughter, Kera, passed away, I went to his office to get the toxicology report and the autopsy report.
Now, was this the coroner's office or at his private practice?
At his private practice.
Okay.
And I waited for him to come out, and he brought the papers out, and he kind of looked over and said he didn't see anything really that stuck out as far as the cause in her death. He apologized that he didn't get to see my daughter. And I said, why didn't you get to see him? He said, or see her. He said, because they wouldn't allow him out there. They denied access to him. So I, of course, believed him, and I was just livid. I wanted to find out who pronounced my daughter. I went straight to the sheriff's department.
In Hocking County?
In Hocking County.
Okay.
And I was very upset, absolutely wanted to talk to somebody. I wanted to talk to who was out there. Why the coroner did not come out and pronounce my daughter. That's who's supposed to pronounce. I talked to them. I was back in there for a long time. It was Lanny North that went ahead and let me hear an audio tape where they had called the coroner to come out, Dr. Cummin. And they played that for me, so I would know that they did call him to come out, and he's the one that chose not to come out. I listened to that, and I couldn't believe it, that he actually lied right to my face and apologized because he didn't get to see her. You know, don't lie to me now. I want the truth. I wanted to talk to somebody who actually listened for my daughter's heartbeat, you know, for the last time.
I understand.
And went to 911, got when it was called in and all this, and then I went out to the EMS station. I thought somebody out there is the one that actually listened for her heartbeat. This man walked through the door. He wasn't in the same room. He came in and he said, I believe I was out on that run. And he remembered the run. And he said he could tell that she had passed. And I just got up and hugged him because I knew he touched my daughter. You know, it's just hard. And I went through all this and thanked him, and I just wanted to see who's the one that tried to listen for her heartbeat. You know, I don't understand everything that happened, but I know she's gone, and it's been 4 years, and sometimes I don't know what to do with myself.
June 30th, 2012.
Yes.
The date that your daughter passed.
Mm-hmm.
How old was she?
She was 36.
Did you ever get definitive answers as to what happened?
Not really. She was bipolar, so she was taking medicine. I knew the toxicology report would show everything of her medicines that she had. There was nothing that definitively to say, well, why was this in there? I think the coroner told me when I went to see him out, basically, sometimes a person's body just said, enough is enough.
So what did the death certificate say?
Accidental overdose. It was all basically medications and medical drugs that she had.
Was there an autopsy performed?
Yes.
So how did the autopsy come about if the coroner didn't go to the scene?
I went to Van Carderas. Told him about my daughter, and he asked me, he said, well, where is she now? And I said, I don't know. I'd been to like 4 or 5 different places. I don't know where she's at. So he said, let me see if I can find her. So he called up to the Franklin County Coroner's office up there, and they said they did not have her. He said, let me make another call. And I don't know who he called then, but then finally the phone rang, and they had called back. They had a female from Hocking County listed as Jane Doe.
Was Jane Doe actually Kera?
It was Kera.
Do you
She
know
was from
why
Hocking
she
County.
was listed as Jane Doe?
Yeah, they said they didn't have a proper paperwork or something to identify her. They had no paperwork at all.
Okay.
Finally, they called Chief Falkenberg, asked him about it, and said there was no paperwork on this girl.
Was this the next day or?
No. Her autopsy was not done until July 3rd.
And she passed June 30th.
Yes. My thing is, she laid up there with a Jane Doe tag on her toe.
Who didn't send the paperwork?
I don't know who didn't send paperwork. I would assume the coroner's supposed to send paperwork up there. The thing it is, I listened to an audio where they had called Dr. Cummin, told him that they was ready for him, they had a body. I have the audio tape myself.
And what was the response then, if you've heard the audio?
He just said, okay. Basically, what do you want me to do about it? And Dave Valkenburg said, well, we've completed everything that we needed to complete. We'd like for you to come out, you know. And there was a lot of back and forth, just snickering back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, the coroner said to Dave, well, just take the body. I'll see the body at the hospital. And he told me face to face that he was not able to see my daughter because they denied him access out there, which is bull. They didn't deny him access. I have 2 different audios that told him to come out. He said they didn't need him.
Because so much time had passed.
Mm-hmm.
Was the funeral home able to embalm the body?
Eventually they did partially embalm, but because of the time, Van begged me and told me basically he did not recommend that I see her.
How were you able to say goodbye to Kara without actually seeing her body?
Van put a little piece of pillowcase or something over her face for me so I could go in. Because her daughter and I, Mariah, had went and got her clothes and stuff and brought there, and they had her fixed up. But when I went in, I seen that pillowcase over her face. It's like, she doesn't deserve this. So I just laid across her and touched her hand. She just didn't deserve this. I seen her, and then I didn't see her face. But you could see why there's no closure.
And you feel there's no closure because you didn't actually get to see her.
Yeah, I didn't
say
actually
goodbye.
get to see her and say bye. I mean, I just laid across of her and cried and told her how sorry I was. And I kissed her through the sheet they had on her face.
Why are you telling your story today?
Because you know what? A lot of people don't know what happened. There's a lot of things going around and rumors and stuff saying what might or could have happened. And she didn't deserve that either, you know. The point is, she's gone. And, you know, nobody should have to go through this. To me, the coroner should have flat out told me the truth. Why wasn't paperwork sent up there? Why did she lay up there at Franklin County Coroner's for 3 days before the autopsy was even done? In a freezer with a Jane Doe on her toe.
So the statement that was made in the letter to the editor in the local newspaper.
I knew it was about my daughter.
You did?
Yes, I did. I read it. I knew. Cummins said something about there was nobody that laid for 3 days, couldn't be embalmed because of that. Well, this is your proof, Dr. Cummins. I just don't understand why things like this happen. Is it political? Is that what it is? Well, you know, it's not political. She was my daughter. You don't do political stuff and when they're dead.
Do you have any final words you'd like to share with our listeners today?
It's sad. It's really sad. Yeah, don't be playing political stuff when with family members. When somebody passes like that, you don't do that. This interview is for Kara. That's what this is for. It's to put things to rest for her.
Will you personally get some closure now?
Yeah, I think I will. Because I've had this inside me for a long time, and when I had a chance to do this, it's like, you know what? I'm not holding anything back. They hurt me very bad when I found out all this stuff. And it hurt me because of my daughter and my granddaughters.
This has been Teresa Salazone reporting for 98.3 SAM FM.